Great. So, hello everyone. Welcome back. So, in today's student success interview, we have Andrew. So, guys, like a little bit about Andrew. Andrew has been a Channels Incubator member for about 2 years now, and he had a phenomenal journey, guys. Like he had been super persistent since the start. Started multiple channels, failed with a bunch of them, and finally has a channel that basically smashing, like, crushing big numbers. And it has done literal $21,000 in the last 60 days. So, again, Andrew is here. He will share all of the sauce, all the insights. And yeah, Andrew, welcome back. Welcome, brother. How is it going?
Good. It's great to be here. It's
Awesome.
nice to see you
So,
again.
100%, 100%. So yeah, Andrew, like, can you tell us, bro, like, can you tell us the beginning? Tell us about yourself, what made you get into YouTube automation, and pretty much like get us up to speed with like, why did you decide to join the Channels Incubator community? And like, pretty much, yeah, share with us everything.
Well, basically, I work as a night shift nurse, and working night shift, you don't have time to meet with family and stuff like that. So I wanted something that gave me more freedom. My mom passed away years ago, but my dad's getting a little bit older, so I wanted to get some money so that he'd be able to retire and enjoy, his golden years. So, YouTube automation, it kind of gives you that freedom. And if you're able to get enough channels and build your portfolio, you get that freedom to end out having money to help out others and stuff like that. So, also with nursing, I can't just do that the rest of my life because it wears down on your body kind of a lot. So, you got to look out to getting other mediums to bring in income and stuff like that. And I tried a lot of other networks. I tried like the Instagram network for a side hustle. I tried doing this PLR hustle. You do end up like drop shipping and Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon businesses and stuff like that, and it takes a lot of capital to get those build up. And then Instagram one was just kind of more like a joke, trying to get that one going. So, but YouTube seems like it's been really successful, and I've got a good network of people helping me out and everything. So
That's
that's why I
solid.
ended up going with that one.
That's solid. That's solid. Okay, that is a lot that you've shared there. So makes sense. Like you've been working as a nurse, and then you was like, okay, I need to find something else that will like provide me with cash flow, take care of like your family and everything. And you just saw like you came across multiple opportunities, one of them being Instagram and few others, until like stumble upon YouTube automation. So like talking about those other business models, Andrew, like what do you think was wrong with the other ones? Why do you think that didn't work out for you?
So, like the fulfilled by Amazon, you have to have like that capital to start. You have to buy some products, and then you have to sell them at a loss to end up building up to where you're in like the top listing of sales, so your product will actually be seen. Because certain products you can sell like 50 of them, and you'll be on like page four, and no one will ever see it.
Mm-hmm.
With Instagram, it it's like finding that niche, kind of like you need to do with YouTube, but at the same time having someone post on it every day, um and trying to find a reel that people are actually going to watch, is it's a little bit harder to hit that jackpot reel. um I don't know, like that one, there was no communication with my team, trying to get them to figure out what I wanted to actually make the Instagram account about. So we ended up going from colored videos to just black and white, and you could just see like the number of followers drop, and ended up going to like 10,000, and then just kind of hovered there at like 10,000. We couldn't break that 10,000 followers threshold for Instagram no matter what we tried. So it was just kind of stagnant and didn't, see any return, because the way that you get sales in that is just getting people that are also interested in building their own Instagram account to make money. So it was more like a pyramid scheme type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. It just, you couldn't be in a company like with YouTube. You can actually create the portfolio, create the team, have the members like working for you. Like they have the script writer and stuff like that, the voice actor and all that stuff. You end up getting them. They work together. They know what to expect to really get your channel going, and then you can get like multiple channels. With Instagram, I don't know. It was just like dead. You know,
Makes
there
sense.
was no interaction.
Makes
To kind of
sense.
build like a team. So
Makes sense. Also, like what you shared there is really insightful, because the other thing about like running multiple models, right? Even TikTok pages or Instagram pages, any of these other social media platforms, usually they don't have a monetizing like a method like how YouTube does with AdSense revenue, right? So there
right.
you are either like promoting off of like you're promoting these other pages that are also wanting to like grow as you are, or maybe you have like few brand deals, like or somebody wants to do a paid post, or sponsorships approaching you. For that you need to like get really big, like 500,000, 1 million, before you can expect those sort of things, I believe. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. While with YouTube, like you just got your AdSense, right? You just hit the monetization and you are making money off of AdSense, and everything you want to do on top, promoting someone else, the brand deals, sponsorships, affiliates, that's all like extra income on top of your existing AdSense. So that 100% makes sense. Um,
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so that was a huge difference that was great with YouTube, versus like these other channels where you just have to, like you said, get like 1 million followers before you can actually start seeing any profit. So,
Correct. Correct. Okay, that one makes sense. So, okay, now coming on to the YouTube automation. After you did that is when you came across YouTube automation. What about YouTube automation like really stood out to you? And who did you decide to go with at first? What was your experience? How much did you try before you came across like came across me and the channels incubator community and decided to join, and why you decided to join? Can you walk us through that?
so initially I ended up going with like Make Money Matt. He had a program to start making your own YouTube channels and stuff like that, and they tell you like where to go and everything like that. And there's tons of YouTube videos on how to start your own YouTube channel, but there's no help with that. So either you're really good at doing it on your own and getting that team and building them up and knowing how to go through AdSense and navigate that, which I'm not that tech savvy to end up figuring AdSense and everything. So Mosin helped me a lot with that. Um, then I ended up going with was it Rise or and Raisin
Yeah,
on
Ras one. Yeah.
Roswan. I was gonna say, and that wasn't so bad. That was the first exposure to like an actual network, and then I ended up coming across. But I was gonna say with him, like I don't know. I guess I just had a bad experience with it because you're supposed to get like an acceptance letter and thanks for joining the network and we're here to help you and all that stuff. I didn't get any of that. So they advertised like this inclusive network of team members that are going to help you get established and everything like that. Never heard from them or anything like that. I did hear from like other people posting their questions and trying to figure out what was going on. So it was like a bunch of people trying to figure out what was going on in general. At least that was my experience with them.
Mm.
So I was still looking to figure out, how to establish a YouTube channel on my own, after trying these other two niches, because I did have some extra money with COVID and everything like that that I was trying to figure out, how to get some side hustles going and, get that passive income so I could have more freedom. And I ended up coming across you, and I know you had spoken with Ryzen. Um, so I ended up going and decided to give you a chance. And so I ended up coming across you, and it was just talking about how you actually worked with Ryzen. So I started talking to you personally and ended up getting more assistance and help. And that's when we ended up jumping on Discord and starting from the beginning with the Discord network and communication, stuff like that, and the teamwork, and the assistance I got actually like establishing a team, finding out where to get people on it wasn't Uplink. What was it? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of what I can't think of what the platform is
The
where we ended up
Discord,
meeting.
Notion,
No, where we ended up getting the team. Like
Upwork,
it is Upwork. Okay.
Upwork. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we ended up getting them and getting some really good members established and started with like my first channel, which got me excited because, I finally had a channel actually up and going, even though it wasn't profitable, and then, the support that I got is actually why I decided to keep going and trying and working and being consistent. And then I ended up getting like trying one niche and that was didn't really work and then went with another one and didn't really know that much about it, but
Yeah,
it
and
seemed like it would
Andrew,
be
can
going
we go
somewhere.
into a bit more detail? Okay, yeah, that we can also go into the details of like which channel we tried, like how many niches did we switch, and how long have you been like consistent before you had like this massive success with the current channel. But before we get into that segment, I also want to touch a bit more on this important part, which I think will be helpful to many of the people watching. Is like many people watch my YouTube videos and they're like, they see me providing value, they see all the results, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure if I really want to do this still. And they're just skeptical. They're just like, okay, I see the results. I see that this guy knows what he's talking about, but I don't know if I want to do this. Did you have this hurdle? And if yes, how did you come across it? And what made you like pull the trigger and join the program?
um I didn't really have that. Like when I met you and we were talking, like I
Hmm.
believed you were genuine. I didn't have any doubts or, be like, hey, this guy's just trying to scam me, or doesn't really know what he's going on about. Like I'm gonna end up joining and be left on my own, kind of like I had with the other two experiences. So, I mean, we got on a personal call, I believe, when we first started. And then you told me like what assistance I would get and everything like that. And I mean, it just felt natural. So I was gonna say that's why I decided to go ahead and join.
Got it.
So
Got it. And I remember, yeah, and
yeah.
I recall one of the things I recall is that that was one of the calls where I had the other person talking so less. It's like I'm talking on, and you're like, yes, let's do it. And that's you just said like very few words, and it's like, yeah, let's do it. So yeah. Okay.
Well, like I said, there was something about the conversation and the way you were talking about it where it was more knowledgeable and real than the other people that I had met with, that I was just like, yeah, this is who I'm gonna go with. Like, I'll give you a shot, you
Love it.
know,
Love it.
and
Mhm.
I don't regret it.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. Okay, love to hear that. Okay, now yeah, we can transition into the channels, the niches. Can you walk us through like the whole journey? It's like going into the details of like what was your emotional thought process as you were switching niches, getting so many videos out, paying for the team month over month, and not seeing any results for like so long.
Well, like what was the first niche? It was I wanted it to be like kind of like with my nursing experience, be like NCLEX, medical, like why you should add zinc to your diet, why you should have like a certain amount of sodium, what the benefits are from eating like lycopene and tomatoes and stuff like that. And that's what I wanted my channel to actually be about, was like health stuff. But it was so saturated, like that niche that we couldn't actually get any people to follow with it because the video quality, I guess, just wasn't there.
Mhm.
The people just weren't really like interested. There was no following whatsoever. We'd probably get like 20 views on a video or something like that. I don't even think we got like 100 views on a single one of those videos. Um, so we started with that niche, and then from that one we ended up transitioning to kind of like one that had more views that wasn't saturated. It was benefits of longevity, like um I forget some of the people's names, but it's like, oh, they're like 90 years old and they eat blueberries every day and they
Mhm.
look like they're 60 or they look like they're 40 and they've got like these special um meals that they eat regularly. So I mean that still has like the health benefits of the antioxidants in the blueberries and all that stuff. So we
Mhm.
were talking with that and it started getting a following. It's, because it really wasn't saturated. There was like maybe five other people posting. It was hard finding the number of people that were actually like rival videos or people to kind of see. But I was just still getting started with that. So we were, I don't want to say copying, but the videos we were making were too similar to the ones that were already posted. And then the quality of them, they were just kind of short. The scripts were kind of like AI generated. So it didn't really sound that authentic, and it just never took off. So we tried both of those. With the health one, trying to get monetized and AdSense and all that stuff and get it set up where it was like the very first channel. I think we spent probably about 8 months on that one, 8, 9 months, and didn't get any return. So then we jumped to the other one and did that for probably about another 5, 6 months or something like that.
Mhm.
And then it just kind of went stagnant for a while because it was just research and looking and trying to figure out what niche to actually go with to be successful because you have to find one that's not super saturated that people are also interested in, you know. So it just takes a long time to find something like that to actually get established in. So there was some downtime, so I wasn't spending like huge amounts of money during that downtime because it was a lot of research. Um, but the longevity channel, I didn't feel like I had enough personal information with that to actually like contribute to the channel. So I felt like I was kind of like thrown out of it, and it wasn't really my channel, so I didn't really like that in general. Um, but the team was there, you know the niche was open, so everybody was excited that we could establish a footing in that. And it just wasn't a right fit. So we ended up moving on to the next niche, which was women's NBA. I was gonna say, and that one, it was a hot topic. There were a lot of people talking about the politics with it and stuff like that. So we just ended out going with that and ended up making like $2,000 in the second month of getting
Crazy.
established and everything like that. So I was really happy with
Solid.
that.
Wow.
So I mean, but it had been like year and a half, almost year and a half, year and 3/4 of not making any profit or anything like that. But um, I don't know. It never affected me on how much money it was because it was like $50 a video or something like that, and we
Yeah.
would just space it out depending on um what topics were coming up and what we could actually come about because we were learning in the process.
Mm.
So learning and getting established and stuff like that, is was more important, than just being like, hey, here's $50. How come I didn't make 20,000 this month?
Mm.
So I mean, you have to invest time and money to
That's a
actually
lesson.
build a team and build up the YouTube channels and stuff like that to actually get somewhere with it. So that's
Solid.
why it wasn't really an issue with me.
Solid, solid.
So
So I think that's the perfect, that's so well said. I think so many people just quit because they are expecting fast results. They're like, I want to start a channel and I want it making money in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days or so. It can happen once you have learned, once you know like how all of the things work and you just get better at the game. But until then, like it's going to take a bit of time. And that's again a perfect example, like 1.5 year of nothing, guys, like 1 year, like 12 months and more, like 18 months combined of nothing, right? Just posting video after video, changing teams, changing niches. And ultimately, after 18 months of not seeing anything, 18 months of drought, right? Just imagine being in Andrew's position where you're just posting videos, you're just spending money with no returns, but you are still learning. You are learning, you are seeing like what works, what not. And he was so super consistent and he was patient with the whole thing. So 18 months passed by, and then finally we land on a niche, a WNBA women's basketball niche, which had good demand, right timing, executed well. And in the first 2 months, the channel did $2,000. Massive success. The channel got monetized, made money. And then from there on, what happens, Andrew? From there on, you made $2,000 with the channel. And what happens from there to now hitting $12,000 last month? What changed? How did that come about?
then I get a message one day. I'm like, oh, this is great. We're going to start building up the team. We're going to start building up the channel. We're going to get followers, and then all of a sudden I get this message on Discord. WNBA is dead, abort, everybody in the niche. So I was like, crap. little little shocked about that. And it's like, well, the season's over. This there's nothing to post now. There's no season. So basically from then starting all over, for the fourth time, trying to come up with a whole nother niche and network and everything. So um and that's when we ended up getting the next team together and going into British politics and everything like that. And what was it? It took off. It was like 1 month, um, didn't have any return. The next month, it hit over $12,500. You
Mind
know,
blowing. That's mind
and I was
blowing.
gonna say, yeah, like one day was $1,200. Just in one day.
Solid.
And I
Crazy.
mean.
It's crazy.
But I mean, it had been after like you said, the 18 months and the wrong niches, learning how to get that team, learning what scripts sound good, learning, how to get a decent video, like the length of time. You don't want it to be too long where you won't be making enough money, but you don't want it to be too short where you could be monetizing, on the ad revenue and everything. So working all that out is also what got the followers, because now in the next month, currently it's doing about $9,000,
Solid.
9,100 this month. So that's $21,000 in a 2 month period after being in a
Wow.
niche for only about 3 months.
Crazy. That's
So,
crazy. That's crazy numbers. And guys, like again, I think we have went a bit too fast with the numbers and everything. And I want to like touch on the bit of a backstory before we started on this channel because I have a short story to share here. I was actually, I remember chatting with you, Andrew, and you said when the WNBA channel failed, meaning like it made $2,000 and then it also like came crashing down because the season is over. I remember in one of your messages you saying that this will be my last attempt with YouTube automation, or like this will be my last month, something along the lines.
yeah,
I'm
last
not sure.
attempt with it because
Yeah,
it had been so long.
it has been so long. I've tried so much, and I also had a successful channel, and I don't know like what's happening. And I think yeah, pretty much from there I'm like, okay, Andrew, like give it one last try. I think this niche is solid. Give it one last try, and then we hop on to the politics niche. We start posting, and it was November end, like November 26th, 27th is when we posted the first video. And in three, four
Mhm.
videos that we posted, the channel did $2,000 in revenue. There you go. A solid start. We just posted a video. And again, this is a funny story. We had a competitor's idea that got 200,000 views. And we came across the idea. We saw, okay, it's a good idea to model. We took the idea, made a video, and our video got 600,000 views in like less than 48 hours. So theirs got 200, ours got 600,000. So that was insane. So that gave a serious momentum to the channel. Started blowing up, like, the next upcoming videos just kept blowing up one after another and did $2,000. Month two, it did 11,000 ish, $11,000, $12,000 in month two. And the funny part is, in this niche, guys, there were 10, 15 different competitors, right? And Andrew starts, and these competitors were posting for like 3 months, and they were all getting like 2 million views or so in last 28 days. Andrew started the channel, and in 1 month, he dominated the niche, right? So first month, the channel had 4 million views in 48 days, in 28 days. So it's like month one, we go in, and then it becomes the top three competitor, like top three channels in the niche. So that's how fast, like, we entered, dominated the niche. And again, in the last 20 days, it's done 20, like $9,000 combined, $21,000 revenue. So again, that's solid, Andrew. This goes to show like you are the live proof of like being patient, being consistent, and like just being persistent with it even when you don't see the results, because ultimately you will, right? Like everything basically added up, it all compounded, then you have the results. Now you know like how the game works. like what happens, like how the channel works, how to get the AdSense revenue thing upcoming, like how to make the videos, how to pretty much like play the game. And now you start another channel, it's going to be a win. Like that's just how it works. You have a
Yeah.
victory, like you just know what to do now, you just know the formula, right? And you just keep doing it over and over again with like very high success rate. So again, massive congrats there. And yeah, like share us a bit, like how did it feel when the AdSense like payment hit the bank, and like what's your next like plans, and like what are you planning on doing with the channel and everything?
Well, that's why I reached out to you and I said we should start more channels. So we were talking about that, and instead of just like now that we know how to do it and we've got the formula and we can make it in one niche, roll it over and try to make it in another, so you can get more portfolios of videos and niches and channels established, send out making it better.
Love it.
So,
Love
and
it.
that's what when it first hit the bank, like it still just doesn't seem real. But I took all that and plan on turning it over just to make more channels. So
Amazing.
still
Amazing.
keep moving forward. I guess that's it.
Just keep doubling down and make it a big, like like, not why have 10 15,000 dollars someone channel when you can build a portfolio of $100,000, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, just that's the, I guess, yeah, ultimate goal for you. And yeah, Andrew, I think that wraps this up perfectly. Few more things, for like a very important one. What would be your advice for anyone that's wanting to be successful as you?
You want to be successful, I'd say like you keep mentioning consistency. Like you just have to keep trying and keep learning and just stick with it and everything. There's a quote. It's you don't eat the fruit the day you plant the seed. And that's kind of like what you were saying. Like it's not going to happen in the first day or the first 30 days. You have to keep watering it, growing and trying, to actually be successful at something. But that's true with anything. Um, so that'd probably be my biggest advice is to just stick with it. And, I know working with you, we've got a great team and everything like that. If there's any questions, you just reach out to the network and use the people that are there to help, you know. Uh, with that, I don't feel like you can lose, as long as you keep trying.
100%. That's so well said. That's so well said, and I absolutely love the quote. And it also definitely helps, guys, when you are a part of a community and you have all of the other people that are doing the same thing as you are. And pretty much, if you are day one, like came across YouTube automation, and you're looking at, oh, I want to start a channel, and then you are in close proximity with someone like Andrew that has done it for like 2 years, went through the whole journey, and now has a channel that is absolutely crushing it. Imagine what you can learn by just having few chats with him. He can save you so much time, right? So I guess that's the same thing with like investing in coaches and being part of communities. You just fast track a lot of the trials and errors that have been done by the people that have walked the road. So 100% agree with the quote and everything that you have shared. Again, Andrew, like, thank you so much for coming on. Super inspiring journey. And I hope to do one of these interviews again in the future when you have a portfolio of channel doing like, let's say 40, $50,000. That
When
could
we
be a
get
good
like five
benchmark.
channels at least.
5 channels at least. Yeah, all about scale. Andrew is all about scale. When you say two, five, he's like, let's do 50. So I
Yeah,
love that. I love that. So again, awesome, Andrew. Great having a chat with you. Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem.